You got to tell me about this. I've been waiting to hear how this ends.
Okay, so a week or so ago when we had our last show, we talked about this Detective Night series, which is a trilogy that Bruce Willis is involved in. It's probably one of his final series. Did you put all three movies
I
up?
did.
So it's Rogue, Redemption, and then the final movie is Independence. We talked about Redemption the last show and how it was an average but not great movie, that kind of thing. I will first say this: Independence, I think, is the best of the three.
This is the last one.
It's the last
Okay.
one. It almost seems like this is a prequel to the other two, like because the way the story follows, the first two kind of flow right past each other. This one seems like its own animal. It might have happened before the other two movies. So if they were to move it, I don't think it would have affected anything.
Okay.
I think that this story would have been told, Detective Knight in his case and whatever he's doing, and then the Rogue movie could have gone back into their next case, and then the implications that lead directly into Redemption. So I don't know if it was meant to be that, but that's how it felt. Much like the other ones, Bruce Willis he's in the movie prominent, but he's not the star like he is in any of these. He's there. He's a prominent figure. He gets in on some of the action, this and that. But there's other characters kind of leading the charge. It's fine. It's like it's the big thing of this is a story that goes along with it. So if you watch the first two, you already know what you're getting. None of them are great. They're very straight to video.
Well, we know Bruce Willis has been having his mental health issues, so that's fine. We know that he's now earwigging it, so he's got the
Most
thing,
of the time,
and somebody's giving him.
So that's
his
why
lines.
they have each one of these. Like if you look at the posters, the
let
other
me go back
people
to the,
in the posters are
trilogy
really
posters.
the people that are the stars of the movie.
Oh, in each.
So
in
like
each
the kid
film.
with the gun in this photo of Independence, he's really the one that's leading the charge.
Okay.
If you look at the last one,
I'll put it back up.
The guy in the background with the Santa Claus, that's the main bad guy. If you look at the first one, neither one of those are really the least. They're both in there, but the movies themselves are all kind of throwaway.
But
they're forgettable. They're forgettable.
Are they okay action?
They're okay, I guess. They're forgettable action movies. They're the kind you might see just like low budget. You might rent it at the Blockbuster back in the day and be like, oh, that was kind of stupid, or trash, or you'd like that kind of cinema thing. But
here's the
reason I wanted to talk about this movie, and I probably shouldn't be talking about it, but now that it's been 2 weeks later, I'm going to talk about it. So I was watching this final chapter to review it, and I'm watching the movie, and I'm like, it's all right. It seems just the story seemed a little bit better than the other ones, and so I'm going with it, and and then something happens, and I got to set it all up first. Something happens, and they have this probably the biggest action piece of the entire series.
Okay.
Involves like a car chase, shootouts during the car chase, people jumping off cars on other cars, and blow explosions and everything, and it's really well done. But something happens, and I'm like baffled by it, and it keeps happening, and I keep waiting. This can't be right. So I just finished the movie, right? So now I'm kind of like, wow. This movie ended this movie really on a trashy note. On it already being a struggling series that wasn't great, wow, they dropped the ball on this. So I start writing the review, and then I stopped. I was like, no, this can't be right. It was bad enough that I had to reach out to the PR people at Lionsgate. And like, I need to confirm this. I just watched this, and here's what happened. Is this accurate, or did I get the wrong thing? And so they came back like, hold up. You were not supposed to see that. This is not what is right. Can you send us screenshots of your screener? And I had already deleted it, so I'm like trying to find it, and I don't know if you've ever had this where you'll delete an email and then you go back to find the email and the email's gone out, not even in your trash folder. Yeah. And I don't know if it's how old it is because sometimes they drop it.
Yeah.
So I can't find it. I'm back and forth with them, and they're like, well, please don't post anything about it. We'll get back to you. They came back and they apologized. They realized their mistake. We've sent you another screening link. When you review, if you would please not acknowledge anything that was on there in your review.
Wow.
So it wasn't bad.
Wow.
But here's what happened. There's a sequence where Bruce Willis is crawling out of a moving truck on the highway.
Okay.
Right? And he's going to crawl out onto the hood and jump onto the car in front of him.
Okay.
So I'm watching this on my computer while I'm working. So it's one of these things, kind of this. And I was like, he's crawling out of a truck that is not moving in front of a green screen.
Oh, you saw an unfinished version.
Yeah, and so he's on the hood of the truck, and he jumps off. I'm like, oh, but it didn't look like it was unfinished. It looked like just somebody forgot to cut that snippet out at first. So I'm like, oh, that's trash. But Next thing I know, the entire last 20 minutes was nothing but the green screen stuff. It was like shootouts and green screens, and you could see people throwing rocks into the frame. And there was like
it was an unfinished copy.
The whole major action piece to the film was the cuts of green screen and people jumping onto the ground and
oh my god,
seeing wires and
oh no.
And then when it ended, the only thing that made me stop it outside knowing that they sent me an unfinished copy of this film, I knew that couldn't be, obviously. I'm not stupid to think that's how they meant me to see it, but it made me start wondering, did they accidentally release this way as a movie? Yeah. So I started looking at other reviews to see if anybody else mentioned it.
Yeah, nobody
was saying anything. So I'm like, was I even supposed to see this movie now? Now I don't even know if I was supposed to even see this movie. And then it gets to the credits and it just says end credits. And that's all it's saying is end credits.
It's just a placeholder.
And then it's cutting in and you're seeing people walk around. It's like, it's so weird. I've gotten unfinished copies before, and they'll tell you, hey, some of the effects aren't done. Please don't judge it on that.
Yeah.
But I've never had a film where the entire movie is finished until the final action. And they were like the beginning of that action sequence was finished. I was watching car chases shoot out and grenade. It was so subtle of the first few times that I thought it was a tree in the background. I'm like, where's that tree on the highway? And I had to look at I had to stop working and start, and then I'm just watching this movie like this, like,
this can't be right.
And now I'm trying to figure out what is happening in the action, because now nothing's moving.
No, because it's just a green.
He's standing on the hood of a truck and he jumps onto something else. And then some other guy is shooting and he kicks the back of a door open and there's nothing there. It's like a green screen out the door because they hadn't put the moving truck in front of the highway and stuff. So it was just it was hilarious and weird. And they'd probably be mad at me for telling you this, but this has nothing to do with the review of the movie.
No. Then once you went back and saw the actual finished sequence, does it look good?
We'll say okay, because I didn't go back and watch it.
Oh, okay.
What I did is I judged it by what I could tell they were doing.
Okay.
Because it was still an impressive thing leading up to that. And so I didn't write anything in the review about it because I'm not bashing the film for that.
No, it happens.
It was just one of those crazy things.
Freak accidents. Wow.
But it did have me concerned at first. I thought like maybe 3 or 4 moments had gotten skipped. And they had left the green screen, like a microphone coming in the screen or something.
Yeah.
And forgot to, because then there was a moment where it fixed itself slightly. I'm like, oh no, they really gave up on this movie. And then it became more hilarious than anything. And it was in the middle of the night. It was like 2 a.m. I'm watching this. I'm like, and I was like, wanting to get you, but you're already in bed. And I'm like,
me, I'm like,
and then I didn't think about saving it to show you.
No.
And I was like, no, I gotta talk about this on the show. And so it was killing me that we didn't do the show last week. And I'm like, I almost told her before the show, but I was like, no, I gotta tell this on the show. It's just funny,
man. Anyways, okay, so where do I check out the trilogy?
All the movies are on Blu-ray and DVD now, and I believe hold on, let me double check that last one. It may not be on Blu-ray.
And is this his last movies now?
It's hard to tell because they keep saying his final films, and he keeps having movies come out. But I think this might be in the realm of the final stuff. Oh no, it's on Blu. Well, no, the first 2 are on this. All of them should be on demand and digital. With Rogue and Redemption are both on Blu-ray and DVD. So I'm assuming this was not far behind.
Okay, sounds good.
If you like I'm watching because I like Bruce Willis, and if you like the legacy of Bruce Willis, this is the kind of film series that could have been really awesome. Had a Die Hard like element to it, or just a cop, vintage Bruce Willis stuff. But we don't have the vintage Bruce Willis anymore.
Yeah, that's too bad. That's okay.
Anyway, it is what it is.
All right.